streaming. Oh, I'm streaming. Okay, let's see here. I got to go to my channel. Make sure that the live stream is working. Yep, the live stream's working. So, gee, I wonder if anybody's going to be paying attention tonight. Well, we'll see. I've been getting a lot of this stuff blocked in, so I figured I'd sort of catch up to where we're at. Because I'm sure anybody that followed this, you know, going back to that first minute, for example, and then back to this material that was, you know, in living color and fully inked and painted, probably has found it a little surprising that it's been, it's really been all about animatics. Because, as I've said in some of my earlier videos, once we got the workflow figured out and we kind of can feel confident that the end result's going to look, you know, pretty decent, now I'm more concerned about this right here, which is the beat sheet with a lot of dialogue and action that's all spelled out. And so, quick recap. I'm just going to scan through these. What I'm doing is I'm just sticking the dialogue in comic book form, just because that allows us pretty easily to see what's going on and get all the shots. And you know, we know that it's going to be pretty easy. You know, there's going to be spots where there's some in-betweens required, but for the most part, I'm getting most of the key poses in there. The in-betweens will be pretty brain dead, pretty easy. So one thing I did want to mention too is that hey Oxer, what's going on, man? I wanted to mention that if you look at some of this dialogue up north here, you know, if I read this dialogue, you know, if somebody handed me a script and said, hey, I've got this script and this was the dialogue, my first initial reaction would be, it's a little verbose and it's a little on the nose. But there's a reason for that. And the reason is we're kind of approaching the dialogue as if it were sort of conceived in English but written in Japanese and then translated back to English. And if you watch anime, you find that the translated dialogue tends to be a little bit on the nose, and it has a certain color to it that's very unique to anime that you don't see so much in American programming. And so one of our goals is to sort of honor that tradition, you might. So that's just a quick explanation. I've been thinking about it a little bit and meant to mention that that's the reason for the somewhat on the nose dialogue. So pounding through earlier today, gosh, I've just really been covering a lot of ground here. She drops the sword, but then he says something that ticks her off. I've sort of tightened up some of these drawings earlier today, I think it was. So now she's ready for battle. You got two ninjas on this side, two ninjas on that side. These guys arm up. And she does this kind of warning shot. Cross the bow, you might say. And then what happens? Okay, this is kind of fun. This guy decides to go for it. He gets biffed pretty good, but unfortunately it rips her dress. At which point she's, you know, she realizes she's maybe in trouble. And I kind of went through this in an earlier video. These guys are a little excited by that development. And so I don't think From Here On has been covered before. There might have been sort of some stick figures in there, but now I've sort of got it, you know, the art's tightened up. So basically she's going to go like this, which I'm pretty happy with that move, because she's trying to hold her dress together. Now this guy who's been the doofus the whole time, he's inspired. he's decided he's going to save the day. And so he decides to go for it, and he does this absolutely ridiculous sort of jujitsu move. I mean, it's like a handstand thing. You know, you can find him on YouTube, like different kind of martial arts where I can't remember what it's called, but it's a form of martial arts that's very dance-like. It's very related to kung fu and jujitsu, kind of. And by the way, I don't know that I did the greatest job ever of having this guy land, but I'm letting it go for the moment because basically this is going to be like that. You know, it's going to literally be okay, and then this will hold for half a second, and then boom, 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 boom. So she gets him in the nuts, and the other two ninjas, they react. So now he's stumbling backwards. So this is where I need to work on this tonight, is draw some of this stuff. He's stumbling backwards while ninja number one, the guy that I've been calling ninja one this whole time for weeks, he comes in, takes a swipe with his like scimitar type blade right here that's in his left hand, and that snaps her strap. Okay, so that kind of brings us up to date. And then later, there's another sequence later where one of the other guys catches and hey dude, I don't know if I was connected when I asked this question, but what is capoeira? I have no idea what that is. Okay, so anyway, so yeah, there's a lot of action, man. This is definitely fun. Okay, so let's just kind of get busy. I'll try to pay attention to the questions that may come down the pike. And this guy should still be holding his nunchucks. Actually, I don't like that. I was being a little smart alecky with the pinky thing going on there, but so I am going to make a slight adjustment on this. Put that down more like that. Sometimes that's what you find you have to do, is you have to rearrange this or that or the other because of the way things either overlap or whatever. So we should really put his other hand in here as well. When you was talking about the style, oh, you know what? It might be. Actually, it might be capoeira. Valerie, what was that type of martial arts that was the dancing thing? Oh. Is it called capoeira? Yeah, capoeira. Okay, yeah. Yeah, apparently that's the one. Nice call, Oxer. Nice call. So yeah, that's what he was kind of sort of trying to do and not really pulling off very well. So this one ninja, he's kind of Spider-Man basically. I mean, he's the only one that's like fully dressed in black and pretty much looks like Spider-Man. But okay, this is feeling pretty good. So what do we got going here? Yeah, and this was a tricky thing too. I wanted to figure out a way, how do you show this expression through the mask, you know? And I think this works pretty well actually. We'll drive it home with the shadows. So yeah. So this is Mr. Long-Hair Guy, and for the moment I'm going to delineate the nunchaku. I don't think I'm going to bother drawing his hands at this point, just because I don't feel like it, basically. I'm more into feeling the action, you know, sort of figuring out the action. This is what's proving to be kind of fun right now. Okay. Sehr gut. Ooh, ouch. Okay, that works. Okay, so now this does not work so much. Now this was a kind of a difficult thing to decide how to handle because, frankly, this really should be just animated, the motion of his walk, and then it should be a camera move, or using the animate tool to just shrink him as he goes back. So before I get into the details of this sequence, I'm going to go ahead and go back upstream a bit. Just kind of look at what things seem to need to be a little more finished up. He's got that strap thing he wears around his the leather. I don't even know what you would call it. Live stream. Is the live stream working? Yes. And okay. So I want to look at, okay, yeah. Why? Oh, let me see here. I think this shot here should be removed. So I think I need to go to the previous shot and hit Alt, up arrow. Nope, I blew it. That was wrong. I need to go on to the one I want to remove and then take it out. So it's going straight from the go. He's in action. I want him to go right into action. So yeah, the problem through here is basically the way his feet land. I just want to say that I am aware that that looks a little bit stupid. What's going on with the live stream? Looks like it's Deadsville. No, it is working. It is live streaming. I am live. Okay. So this is going to go by really fast. Do I want to? Yep, I do want to. I'm going to actually give him a little bit of a turny poo here on his leg, because whenever I have a shot where the balance, or the guy being anchored to the ground, is not clear, why that bugs me. And there's a great deal you can get away with on the basis of on the basis of what, Dave? Of things going by quickly. But you can't like throw out your basic good drawing and all the rest. Okay, let me think now. The side, I think that the way I did it, I actually have to really puzzle this out. I believe I had his fingers kind of like that, and then the blades come up around this way. So his thumb would maybe be there somewhere. So he would have the glove indication there, and then this would be stupidly foreshortened, which is fine. That's pretty much okay. Alright, down here we're going to have similar situation, actually. Very foreshortened. Something's funny going on over there. I think Valerie is watching Chuck. She's watching a show called Chuck, which is kind of an old show. But it's a good show. Pretty wholesome show. It's about a guy that works in a big box store and gets some crazy powers and winds up saving the world and working with, a top secret government agency or something. But it's a silly show. And it's good, clean fun. So anyway, all right. So we don't have to belabor this, but we do have to be detailed enough to know where our areas of, for example, what's going to be colored in. I mean, we're going to have to ink and paint this, so it's got to be clear enough to let those areas, be clear for ink and paint purposes. This shot of his head was actually cut and pasted from a larger shot, and I just shrunk it down. Okay, that's not too bad. Okay, and here he goes. Okay. This guy's hair, I swear this guy's hair is going to be legendary. The so-called Naruto hair. Boink. So, yeah, obviously a lot of energy, a lot of excitement going on here with this move, because he really believes he's about to put her down and have his moment of glory. Okay, his arm is too long, I think. So let's just grab it from about yay there. Okay, that didn't really grab properly. Let's grab it a little more carefully. And then what I'm going to do is use control drag to tweaky. We had the same problem here. I think I just got all right. So I think I mentioned in the video earlier today on this sequence, I'm kind of going for Jack Kirby, real bold, simple shapes. They're going to go by fast. A lot of really heavy foreshortening. Okay. Now, I guess what I want to do here is just, let's see. I'm going to put him there. Okay, now I'm going to grab a marker for his left foot and his right. Can I do that? His right foot. Doesn't seem to want to let me do his right foot. Okay, that's fine. Maybe I can put his toe there. Okay, and yeah, the reason for that is so that I can get the... Okay, I kind of blew that. Yeah, boy did I ever blow that. Let's try that again, folks. So this basically needs to be more like there. And again, from here to here, it's going to be like, boom, 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 boom. It's going to be that quick. You're not going to have time to digest the obnoxiousness of this pose. Just saying. So I think that's okay. My sense is that if he's coming at her, I think this should basically be shrunk down. Okay. Okay. So now I'm going to take this marker. Actually, let's do this. Grab this and bring it down a little bit like that. And then let's mark that. Okay, why are certain markers kind of sort of refusing to... Okay, it looks like if you're going to drag a marker, I think the cursor needs to come out over into the drawing area, or it doesn't take. I think that's what's going on there. Okay, so now that has to be anchored there. But let's see if... I'm going to go with that. I think that's going to be okay. Alright, so now what we need to do is tighten up her drawing and then copy it into the other 4 frames. Since we're trying to basically keep everything in a single level. Because we're not really concerned about I think what we want is something like this. So kind of have to keep bouncing back, you know, and looking at what I did before. She actually, yeah, yeah. Okay, so that works. So if her knees are there and there, then that means her thighs are going to be there and there, basically something of that nature. And we'll sort of do the what do we want to say? The sort of pigeon-toed thing. Now that really doesn't look right. Her legs look too small to me. You just stretch them way too long and way too short, and that feels about right. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm gonna just cut her out of here. Delete. Hey, I love it when the delete key just doesn't seem to work for some reason. Delete. S key. Yeah, so normally if we were doing anything remotely close to finished work here, we would be breaking this up into separate layers. So she only has to be drawn once, and ultimately when I ink it, I'm only going to draw her once. But for now, since I am just getting it blocked in, it's just faster to just do some cutting and pasting. So how many minutes have you completed so far? Honestly, Oxer, I don't know. I don't know. I did kind of a rough calculation. Did a rough calculation a couple days ago, and I think with everything, if this all was inked and timed out, I think we'd be getting in the 4-minute range. So I don't know for sure, but that's what I suspect. Okay, now I think she's kind of holding her blade out. So I think the thing to do here is to and what was she doing with her left hand? Yeah, she's basically got it wrapped around behind her. So this is a little misleading here, the way I drew this. Okay, and I want to go ahead and get strict with with the slippers. I think I mentioned earlier today that obviously it's kind of weird to be sleeping with your slippers on, but I think that the presumption is that when she did the little magic move to set her hair up, she probably also magically put some slippers on. Okay, let's go back just a little bit and just see what we have going on here. Okay. Boom. Okay. Pretty happy with that. Okay. So now what we got to do is I want to look at where he lands. Yeah, again, I think his arm is... I don't know why I have a tendency to draw arms too long when I'm going fast. And I wonder if... Can we move this back a little bit? Let's see how that feels. Yeah, it looks fine. So that means we can take this and move it back a little bit too. Okay, that's cool. I can live with that. So if we do that, then I think... Uh-oh, I didn't mean to cut her. I didn't mean to cut her in half. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to go Control C, Control V, Control V, Control V. Okay. There we go. So now, again, what I just did, cut and pasting, is not really good practice. In terms of organizing a scene, certainly if this was being inked, that would be bad practice. But for just doing pencils and getting it blocked in, no big deal. Now, I do have a problem with this guy. We've got a considerable amount of body here that seems to have been left out of that subsequent frame. Let's see what happens if we paste it in. Okay, I'm actually going to make a slight adjustment to it. And have you started adding 3D workflow to speed up the extreme poses and for references to speed up the animation process? Nope. Nope. The only thing I'm using Blender for right now is some of the stuff I'm doing right here, right now. Basically pencil test stuff. But as far as 3D, I have done experiments with, okay, what would happen if we go ahead and rig a model and the basic thinking there is that if we rig up a game resolution 3D model, go to all the trouble to create a model of our character and then rig it, that theoretically we could do the posing in 3D. And hang on half a second, I'm pulling something up here on Netflix. There's an anime here on Netflix. I think I was watching. Yes, this is the one I was watching. Expelled from Paradise. But this is what you're seeing a lot. You can see these guys. These characters clearly were created in 3D. You can actually see where their character breaks, and you see that's all 3D. And then what they're doing is they're tending to go ahead and render the thing at 8 or 12 frames a second, and You know, it does look good. So the question really is that a better way to work, or is it a better way to work to draw everything? Okay, that's the question. I'll answer it as best I can. Number one, if I was really committed to the 3D approach, and then you, for the most part, I think you'd be drawing over top. Right, rendered on twos. But the thing I have to say though is that, you know, go ahead and do it, Oxer. You know, go ahead, rig up a model, use Rigify. I've used Rigify. Do it, and then come back and you let me know how you think that went. My sense right now is that that workflow, number one, it breaks somewhat when you start to deal with any wardrobe change. And so, you know, what I'm saying is that if you're committed to that workflow, I think it can be a good workflow. For the most part, you do lose the aesthetic of a traditional hand-drawn anime to an extent, but you gain an aesthetic that's starting to get some traction. You know, you're seeing it more on Netflix. So I think if you're committed to the 3D workflow, Aaron Ehash has a show on Netflix as well that's an anime, and it's very much in the spirit of Avatar: The Last Airbender, which he was one of the writers on. It looks like, I think he's got, probably, I assume it would be his brother, another guy with the same last name, doing some of the writing on that show. And that whole show is done that way. You can tell right away, but what used to always look stupid when they did it that way isn't looking stupid anymore. They're sort of getting the workflow figured out. MTP, hey dude, or ma'am, whichever it is. I'm not using vectors much at all. I've experimented with doing inking with vectors, and it definitely can be a great workflow. But I will say that for the most part, I have been finding I get my work done faster and better and all the rest when I just use you know, raster levels and tunes raster levels. So the argument for vectors basically has to do with scalability. It would be the idea that if you draw a character, you know, like this, large, you can, well, actually it'd be the other way around. If you draw it small, you can scale it up. And it all, it's just like what Oxer was saying about 3D. The real question is, do you get leverage by doing it this way? Okay, do you get leverage by doing your character with vectors, because ostensibly maybe later you're going to use that same drawing again, but you might have to scale it a lot, right? Okay, and Oxer's comment is that's exactly right. If I was going to do it, I would do game level, you know, really low res, low polygon models, and then I would literally draw over them so that the 3D models are really just a reference or a shortcut. But the question is to skin a cat, and what I seem to be finding is my best investment in the quality of my work is to just get better and faster at drawing. So far that seems to be where the win is. Everything else seems to be a lot of time spent for something that's only occasionally valuable. Now again, yeah, I know my stream dies every once in a while. Right. Yeah, and I would say, based on that last comment, Oxer, you're saying you mentioned it for pacing and to speed it up. Like I said, if you're committed to that type of a workflow and you want to go that direction, and to an extent you want a little bit of that 3D aesthetic as well, I have no problem with the workflow. For what I'm doing, I don't think it would actually be that helpful. You know, when I get sloppy about anatomy, it's usually because I know that what I'm drawing is going to go by so fast that nobody's going to notice. And when it really matters, like I think this stuff, like this matters a lot. And frankly, to get that quality of character in her motion it would be really hard in 3D. You better have that character rigged really well. And I'll guarantee you that Rigify out of the box will not do the job. You're going to do a lot of hand tooling of that rig to be able to get that level of articulation. So again, for me, that's my opinion. Others may disagree, but for me, it seems that just getting better and faster at drawing is the most valuable thing. And I'm kind of agnostic. I would do it either way, and I've done experiments with a 2D over 3D workflow. And significantly, it wasn't as fun. You know, and I think that's important. If you're going to spend hours and hours and hours doing an animation, you know, you ought to have a good time doing it, right? So one of the problems I have here is that this guy, yeah, that's better. See, he was getting too bulky, like he's looking a little too athletic, and this guy really wasn't the... You know, again, I want to emphasize, because I always make excuses for whenever I'm a little bit sloppy on my anatomy, but this is going to be like boom, 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 boom. Like, it's really going to go by fast. So we got some latitude. You and me both, man. We're both, well, I'm not technically a one-man show. I mean, of course, Valerie's right over there, but as far as the actual animation process, I'm certainly a one-man show. Okay, cool. So I'm going to save myself a little bit of grief here by just erasing these. Going back, I do this a lot. I'm just going to grab this, Control C, go to the next frame, and then let's rotate it. That'll work. Okay. Yeah, and the thing is that thanks for the I'm a dude MTP. I appreciate that. I suspect most of the people that watch my channel are probably guys, but I don't know. I know there's been a couple girls that have subscribed. But no, if you guys are, I mean, are you guys doing this? Are you guys doing, you know, are you cartoonist, or are you into the animation thing? Do you use OpenTunes? Are you more of a Blender person? I mean, feel free to comment. I've got the latest build of Blender 2.8 on my machine, but frankly, I've been so busy just working that working on this, that I haven't had time to fiddle with it. Everything I've seen out there, that's actually being done with it, tells me that there's not much I would gain, either in quality or leverage. Leverage meaning I do some work now that I can reuse later. I'm not really seeing with Blender 2.8 where it's going to be much of a win compared to OpenTunes. Okay, so obviously this guy's head looks stupid, so I'm just going to go ahead and... What are we going to do? You know what? I'm just going to be a little silly here, and I'm going to try grabbing this one. Control C. Okay. And watch this. I'm going to paste it in there. Shrink it way down. Go up here. And let's just flip it. Okay, and then obviously that's too big. So now I'm looking for ways to sort of build some character into it, into the way he lands. So I'm going to actually hit Control C. And this pose, actually, I don't mind so much. Okay, so you got... This month I'm doing Sculpt Canuary. Okay, so I assume that's like a sculpting 3D modeling contest kind of thing. Next month, start back in my comic book, animation, game stuff. I can only get so much done after work, though. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I thought you were going to send me like a link to some of the stuff you've been doing. I never did get a link. I think when you tried to paste it in here in the comments, I don't know if YouTube won't, if you can't put a link in the comments. That's probably what's going on there. So I need to speed up here a little bit. What I would do is, here you go, Oxer. If you can email David Weiss at, this is long, it's Premier Media Design.com. So that's premiermediadesign.com is my commercial media company. And that's the main email that I use all the time. So if you want to shoot me a link or whatever, just send it to that email address. You can if you're a moderator. Okay, yeah, see, I don't know. I don't pay attention to that. As you guys kind of know, I haven't like killed myself to master all the crazy things you can do with your YouTube channel. I just wanted to live stream what I'm doing and kind of leave it at that. Okay, that is definitely helping to go faster. Definitely helping. Feels better, feels looser, a little more fluid. So, boom, 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 boom. Okay. Hey, Darren, what's going on, man? Evening all. Finally caught a stream. I'm talking like Darren. Actually, Darren T doesn't talk like that. Where are you from? You're from Australia, aren't you? You know, when you're a high-paid voice actor like myself, you don't invoke ridicule when you make funny voices on your YouTube channel. No. Oops. No, you invoke inspiration and admiration. Oh yeah, everyone admires me. I'm being silly. Oxer B, you have a Gmail account. I know. Yeah, it did. It did. Well, there's a lot of different British voices too. You know, if you want to be, hey, you want to be more Cockney, whatever. You know, I'm going to say if I'm going to try to be Australian, I've got to think about putting some shrimp on the barbie. I bet you no one really says that. Truth is, oh wait, he doesn't have this. The truth is, in Australia, no one really says shrimp on the barbie. Isn't that right, Darren T?
Well, not very.
Oh, you're from England. You're near Nottingham. All right, cool, man. That's awesome.
Say it occasionally, but
Valerie says that, in fact,
I have friends that are in Australia.
Australians do occasionally say something about putting shrimp on the barbie. Okay, okay. I'm down with that. You know, no problem. No, Darren T, you other guys who are watching, Darren T, if you have a technical question for Open Tunes, man, you need to ask Darren T or go to his YouTube channel and learn. Because Darren T has the answers, and that's a Darren T. You know the thing that's so stupid, Darren, is I think I was subscribed to you or you were subscribed to me or something for like a month before I put together the whole Darren T thing. Before maybe I never listened to one of your videos through to the end. It's like I always tell people, I'm smart, but I'm not quick. I missed the whole Darren T thing it was quite a while. Okay, so now these guys, once they see him kicked in the nuts, they're like, ouch, that's gotta hurt. Okay, so now this is going to be a complicated thing to draw. So I'm actually going to try to go quickly here. What's supposed to happen is that Ninja 2 is stumbling backwards. So obviously I've indicated this in a very sloppy manner. Okay, but you know, it does tell the story. I mean, the guy just got bashed in the nads, right? So then what's supposed to happen, and this is a little complicated, is that Ninja 1 decides he's going to take a swipe. Okay, so he's back here. And it's really, this is the challenge of it, is actually figuring out how to map all this action in and tell the story that we're trying to tell. Discord channel. Yeah, I haven't been, I've been to the Discord channel, but not in a while. It's like anything else. You find that the more you're actually doing the work, like this, what I'm doing right now, it's all grunt work, really. The more you're doing the work, the less you're out there socializing about it. Unless you have a technical problem you're trying to solve or whatever. So let's get this guy in here. And he's got his little headband. Okay. There he is. And there's the strap on his arm. Okay. And he's about to go for it. But right here, I've got to actually. This is going to be a very tricky sequence to animate. It's quirky, but you remember it, so it works with the violin at the end. Violin. You must be talking about something with the Discord channel, because I don't even know what you're talking about, the violin. Okay. So, anyway, let's keep this moving. Come on, we got to get going here. Okay, and let's go back here. I'm actually thinking I'm going to put this arm up here like this, like it's already raised for action. Okay. And he's got, in this hand, he has a long sword. Alright, so what we want to do is get the sense that it's going here, and what's got to happen, this is actually, like I said, this is tricky. He's got to get turned, because there's a contact here between these guys. That's why I say this is going to be tricky to how Darren T's videos end. Oh, okay. I don't even remember anything about a violin. I just remember him saying, and that's a Darren T. I don't know if that's what you're talking about, but okay. And so what are we going to do here? His ponytail would obviously get clunked around. Okay, and now I want to just, this is what I always say about creative work. You want to go from the known to the unknown. So what I definitely know here is that he's going to be kind of swinging around like this, and his arm's going to swing this way, and I know his hand is here. He's got the little scimitar type blade. Okay. Alright. And we actually see the blade over here. I mean, frankly, this might not be the best visual storytelling I've done, because this is going to go by quickly, and so I don't know that it's going to read all that well. So I may ultimately wind up rethinking the staging of this. But for the moment, let's just see it through. It's not going to take that long to go ahead and just get it blocked in. Okay, so he's going to swing around this way. And the joke is, boink, her strap gets her strap gets cut. And then that would be, this is just a really dorky cartoon of her reacting to her strap being cut, because now she's got to hold her dress together in the front and the back, and then that's kind of the situation through the rest of the battle. So it's definitely a very clunky situation for Akari. Okay, so now I'm gonna just sort of feel where things need to go. Okay, so basically, yeah, I was gonna, as he came forward, I was kind of having her move. I don't know what I was thinking actually as far as the way the camera moves, but basically her head is too small. in this shot. So, yeah, if you have a Gmail account, okay, got it. Oxer, Premier Media Design at gmail.com. I don't check it really often. I only have the Gmail account because you have to have one for your Google account. But yeah, Premier Media Design at gmail.com will get you to my Gmail. Okay? Cool beans. Don't y'all be sending me no spam. I know you guys wouldn't send spam. So, thanks, Darren. I'm trying, man. I'm trying. Okay, so I think, gosh, when he gets bumped, I think what should actually happen is, okay, let's just do a quick indication. Boom. Okay. So if that happened, okay. Let me just see if I'm gonna buy that. Yeah, maybe. Okay. I'm just gonna draw his hand in a very blocky manner. Boom. So there's that. So the sword would actually definitely go flying. So he's sort of falling into it, in my opinion. Valerie sort of sees this guy still being pretty much in control of himself, but I don't know. I mean, when you go ahead and draw it, and you realize what would happen if somebody actually bumped you, so that you ostensibly lose your balance. And almost accidentally swing your blade around and it catches her strap. Okay. So what's problematic here is I think that Akari in general needs to be moved and maybe resized actually. Just don't like the way I'm seeing it. So I'm going to use this as a reference. Okay, so what I want to do is, I'll tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and grab her head. Control C. Let's go back here. Instead of fighting with it, let's just erase this and look at where we could put her head. Got to hit the S key, Control V. Okay. And so the idea would be just use the Control key here to stretch this a bit. So she's kind of reacting. Yeah, this has got to be maybe the trickiest part of this whole sequence. So now, because what I did there, it's not really selling me. So what I want to do is, move her. Yeah. S key. Okay, so the problem here is really the scimitar blade, because it's completely hidden, so that's not acceptable. So that's okay. That's okay. That's easy to fix. What we'll do is we'll put it up here somewhere. Okay, so and boom, boom. Oh, let's just try this. Let's just block it in. Sticks and balls, right? Yeah, that works. Although the blade needs to be pointed that way. What? Come on, you silly thing. So now this should be, yeah, this. So this sequence comes later. Oh, and I can't wait for that. I can't wait for that. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. So back to the B key. Alright, so if his hand is up like that, essentially, okay, and his elbow is sort of coming up. Whoa! I see. I don't like that at all. I think that this should be down here. I don't even know what this is. You know, he's got to get his balance back because he is a competent guy. He's not that guy that's falling all over himself. He's the one who pretty much mm, pretty much is probably the most competent ninja in the room. Okay, so let's go. Right? Just get it. Okay, that will probably be okay. Yeah, I can live with that. Alright, let's go here. Zoom in a little bit. He is not a nice man. He is simply just not a nice man. Holy smokes, I've been live streaming for an hour. Well, that's cool. That's cool, because that's what I do. That's what I do on a Monday afternoon or evening. Sounds like Kita is barking outside. Perhaps she's not happy since it's like the coldest day on record. No, it's actually not so bad now, but yeah, it definitely got really cold last night. Okay, that can be gone. Now, what about the strappy thing? Okay, I think bump. I think it plays. It's not the best sequence I've ever done. Frankly, if I really want to be turned on, I'd rather look at this sequence here. Turned on by animation. You know what I'm saying? Or this. I love that. That's the one I love that one the best though. That is like the best sequence. Oh man. Yeah, so it's just like knockdown, drag out, crazy ton of action going on. Well, this is what we've been building towards, is this battle. Okay, I shared the folder. Oh, cool. Thanks, man. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? Sorry, everybody else who's watching, which it looks like there's only maybe one other person watching. I'm going to go ahead and go to my Gmail right now so that I can not forget to check and and I don't see it. Pinterest. No, that's just contact. Dude, I don't see it. Shared the folder. Did you share it to my Google Drive? That's probably what you did. I'll bet you did. That's fine. I can work with that. I'll just go to my drive right now and look at shared with me sample stuff. I think that's you, man. Cool. I'm looking at Oxer's animation stuff, so bear with me for a second, folks. Give me 1 minute. Uh-huh. So the videos, it's pretty much like an animatic. It's like a lot like what I'm doing. I like the, I like the drawing of the woman. Yeah, dude. Yeah, super cool. Keep doing, man, what you're doing. Keep going. Yeah, I like these comic pages. Very nice. Thank you, Oxar. I appreciate you finally shooting me some of your stuff. It's very cool. Yeah, but, definitely cool. Okay, so back to work here. Um, Back to work here. So to me the most difficult thing is we got to move him back, and I know what I need to do. I need to change this pose right here. That's the problem. The problem is that this guy, frankly, I gotta erase him. I'm gonna have to sketch this in really quick just so I can. Okay, and his shoulders need to get twisted. Okay, the scale obviously is all totally stupid here, but in fact, actually the scale on this. This is one of the more complicated things I've tried to figure out animation-wise. So what's got to happen here? I mean, the thing is that the positioning of his feet is stupid. I get that. But I want to get this. I want to get this bump. That's the problem, is we're not seeing the bump. See, these guys need to be sort of tripping over each other. And so that works better. Okay. Okay. So that doesn't work at all. Boom, boom. I wonder if I should actually have him. Okay, folks, frankly, this is as ugly as it gets. This is as ugly as it gets because I'm very much really trying to work out right now in real time, live on YouTube, how this needs to be. And frankly, there's enough about it that's sort of egregious that I may scrap the whole thing and try staging it in a different way. Because it's complicated. I mean, it's a complicated motion. This part, is okay. I like having this guy in the background. Getting ready to make his move. And then he goes in for it, but bumps the other guy. His hand is too large, by the way. And I think, and actually I have him in here sort of falling, so just trying to feel what it would be. I feel like it'd be something like this. here, he lost the sword, so I don't even, this was an earlier indicator of the sword, I'm sure. And back here, I want to see this guy. I mean, this is the soles of his feet. Okay, this guy literally, wah, he's falling down, right? So so if he landed, he'd be down here. Bam. You can't really see him because the other guy's arm is in the way, which is fine. Boom. So these arms would still be tucked down here because he's still supporting himself from having been chunked in the nuds. Nuds, nads, whatever you want to call them. It hurts when they get wonked. That's for sure. Okay, I'm not even going to deal with the expression in his eyes because it's too small, and I don't actually even want to take the time to zoom in. I just want to get the feel of the motion. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so that's her. So I think this leg would be out. So again, we're sort of going for the Jack Kirby thing where, you know, the back of his leg would be foreshortened, kind of like that. I think I'm starting to, actually I'm kind of mentally starting to check out a little bit, so I think I'll go ahead and wrap it up here for tonight. But, I mean, this pose here, I think that's pretty cool. I think I got it, something there. This arm, don't really like it. But of course we have to convey that this hit took place. So I think with that I'm going to call it a night. I'm going to check out.